What is going on, everyone? Look, I want to give you an update on Myro because the last 24 hours have been absolutely ridiculously insane. There's just been so much happening, so much news, so many partnerships that I want to share with you and just kind of give you my updated opinion on what Myro is doing right now. Now, many of you do know we've talked about Myro for weeks at this point, making our very first post in HG Access all the way back on the 2nd of January when its price was at around 2.5 cents. Obviously, knowing this thing got up to 25 cents, we made a beautiful 10x. So make sure, of course, you do check out HG Access down below. This has been one of the best plays of the year for us already. But with that in mind, you guys know, again, we've been talking about this for a while. And the reason we were talking about it for a while is because the approach in which they were taking to getting their name out there, getting Myro to become more of like a household name in the world of crypto. And as they have continued to do that, the results have shown more and more and more clearly just from the chart itself. And what they're doing right now is just kind of compounding on top of all that. And I think it's important to share it with you. And I do have some news myself that I'm going to share with you towards the middle to end of the video. So let's go ahead, of course, and let's get started. So the majority, of course, of you, I would assume, know who Myro is, but just for a brief recap, Myro is pretty much the staple meme coin of the Solana ecosystem at this given point. It was named after co-founder Raj Gokhal's dog Myro, and they've been doing an absolute ton to kind of make themselves kind of like, you know how like when Pepe or Doge and Shiba all popped off, or Bonk, for example, they want to be the next one of those, but even in their own way. Now, like I mentioned before, when they first started this, there was something specific that I noticed. There was something specific about how they were approaching it that I noticed that I personally just related to so much. And what that was that they were doing their absolute most to network as much as possible, get their name across as many different influencer networks as possible, and get their name constantly repeated over and over again throughout socials, throughout YouTube, throughout Twitter, throughout TikTok. And by taking that approach, they are giving themselves the best chance of maintaining enough volume to constantly have themselves input and injected into the liquidity cycle anytime liquidity flows into the Solana ecosystem. And that's the exact reason why, again, at 2 cents, I was like, yo, pay attention to this. And here we are now. Now, they've just ramped that up. The networking, the marketing, everything they were doing that got them to where they are, they're doubling down on it now. Let me run you through some examples. Bybit listing. The Bybit listing, in my opinion, was kind of that first real big step into the world of centralized exchanges, simply just because this puts them in front of an audience that's been here before. Bybit's not new. These people who trade on Bybit or buy on Bybit or sell on Bybit, they have been around for a while for the most part. This is one of those exchanges that's been consistently into the cycles of bullish and bearish and bullish and bearish. And so obviously getting in front of that crowd has been absolutely insane. And that's the reason why they have seen so much growth since that Bybit listing, because again, it's such a big platform. Now, not only from that perspective, they are also talking to some other tier ones. I obviously don't know the names of those tier ones yet, but with the amount of volume they're doing, the amount of the fees that these exchanges could be making off of the volume that they're doing right now, all of these fees are going to want to bring them on board. And I think it's just a matter of time before you see some of those biggest tier ones in the world bring them on. And so clearly that would be an absolutely huge move into getting a lot more mainstream from Myro. Now, on top of taking that approach, they've also been taking the influencer approach. As someone who owns a management company that manages over 25 YouTubers, I know how effective it is to work with YouTubers in this space. It's almost mandatory. You have to put yourself in front of those influencers' audience if you want any growth, especially as a meme coin that doesn't have much true utility. And they have been taking that and absolutely running with it. I mean, we can see here, we have guys like Miles the Shooter, who I respect personally a lot because he does put so much time, energy, and effort into giving real good, valuable content. We have guys like him talking about it. We have guys like Your Pop talking about it, who is one of the kings of the meme coin world. You go a little bit further, there's guys like Jacob Crypto Burry, who's also posting about this thing. We have other guys like Zach Humphreys and Austin Hilton and some of those other guys who've been in the Shiba space and the Doge space, and they've been talking about meme coins for this long. They're now partnering with them. They're now working with them. They're now, bringing them to their channels. We're seeing that coverage in that regard. You go a little bit further, you can see they're working with other people such as Doge Space X, which has its own community that Myro is now tapping into. You go a little bit further, you can see guys like Matthew Perry, 205,000 subscribers, been in the space a long time. They're partnered with them. And then if we go a little bit further, you can see your boy is now partnered up with them. I've talked about them since 2 cents. When I first started talking with them, I was not a partner of theirs. I was not someone who was officially situated with them, right? But after they're seeing, how I've been talking about them, how I've been supporting them, they wanted to partner up with me. And so we, of course, are now official partners. Now, going even a little bit further, we've even seen the likes of Crypto Banter, who, love him or hate him, has a ton of respect in this space. And even they're talking about how, Myro could make a move similar to Bonk. And I do agree. That's the craziest part, right? I've been saying that since the beginning, before I was a partner of them, since some of you are going to say that's biased. I've been saying that since before, since they were at 2 cents, that they could make a Bonk-esque move. And considering the fact that even after this big ass pullback that Bonk's gone through, this thing's still sitting at a $700 million market cap. And Myro's only at what, 185 mil? So that's still another 2 or 3x from here to get where Bonk's at after this pullback. If we really consider what Bonk did during its pump, I mean, it's doubled. That's, 1.4, 1.5 billion. That's still a possible 8x from here. Now, am I saying that's for sure going to happen? Of course not. I can't guarantee that. It's ridiculous, right? But what I'm saying is the door of opportunity is open so wide right now that it's hard to imagine how far this could go, especially with the amount of coverage and the amount of networking and partnerships and marketing that they're doing. So with that in mind, I'm still an avid supporter. I'm so happy that I was able to partner up with them and bring them to the channel from that regard. But you guys know, again, I've been talking about them way before that, posting about them way before that. And I'm sure you can see that it's just genuine, true support that I have for the company. So we'll see what happens. At the end of the day, it's a meme coin, and so you never know what can happen. I always recommend taking some profits. I always mean, if you're up 10x, 20x, take some profits off the table. Go buy yourself a nice dinner. You earn that. But at the end of the day, I still do have a bag of Myro that I'm holding on to because I want to see if it can still 5x or 10x from here. So I will continue to update you as this does play out. Of course, if you do enjoy these videos, make sure you let me know by smashing that like button, and I will see you all next time. Peace out, everybody.